So I wanted to talk today about something that might be a little bit niche. So I run a creative business. I design cross-stitch patterns and then I make those patterns into kits and I sell those mostly online, but I do markets occasionally. And I was at a craft market on the weekend and I wanted to just share my experience and hopefully get a sense from other makers just to see if other people are having the same kind of experiences as I am, or if you're having different experiences, what those factors might be. So we'll do a little story time first. I went to a 2-day market that is about an hour outside of the city that I live in. So it was in a small town, rural community. The organizer had actually reached out to me, I believe through Instagram, back in the spring, probably March-ish, asking if I would be interested in being a vendor at their market. And I often get people reaching out to me, asking me to participate in craft sales and that kind of thing. And I often say no, just because it doesn't fit into my schedule, it's pretty last minute, or it's just not a convenient location, something like that. But I figured because this one was so far in advance, like they were asking in March for a September market. So I figured I'll put it in my calendar and I'll just have that to work to. I have lots of time that I can prepare for it. So I got all my kits together, I got all of my supplies ready to go. We get in the car, we drive out there, set up, everything's good, just kind of your typical craft market. It's on the smaller side, obviously it's a small community. It is part of a larger, they called it an outdoor show. I don't really know what that means. But there was other stuff going on in the area, so it was kind of more of a small component of something larger. And I assume the idea was that people who were attending this other show would be drawn in to the craft market and spend money and whatever. The Saturday ended up being kind of a terrible day, just in terms of sales, really. It was a nice atmosphere. People were nice, chatty, whatever. But nobody bought anything. Like, literally did not make a single sale on the Saturday, which was really disheartening because the Saturday was 8 hours. It was from 10 to 6. It was an hour drive there, an hour drive home. The table fee was $80, so I clearly hadn't made that back. So it seemed like a big waste of time, waste of money, but it was a 2-day market. We'd signed up to do the Sunday as well, so we ended up driving the hour back on the Sunday. It was slightly shorter, it was 6 hours rather than 8 hours, but there was still also the drive there, the drive back, so it ends up being an 8-hour day anyways. And I did end up making a few sales on the Sunday. Overall, I made $150, and again, table fee was $80, so I ended up with a $70 profit for 14 hours sitting there, plus 4 hours there and back. So if I had known beforehand, I don't think I would have gone. I don't think I would have signed up for it. Yes, it's nice to make connections, you meet other vendors. People take business cards, so maybe there will be sales in the future too. I just also had the organizers approach me and ask me about doing a cross-stitch workshop. So all in all, not totally useless, but ends up being a big waste of time. Especially since the only people who actually bought anything were the organizers themselves and a couple of other vendors. So nobody who actually came to shop at the market bought anything from me. And I do realize that my product is a bit niche. It's not something that just anybody will pick up. It is a kit, it's DIY, so you need to either already know the skill or be willing to learn. So perhaps it's just my product. However, it seemed like a lot of other people at this market also didn't make a lot of sales. Overall, it just seemed like a bit of a bust. And there were other things happening in the area, in the city. There was a lot of other things drawing people's attention. So I think that's part of it too, but I've been in other situations, gone to other markets where that's been the same case, where there have been other bigger events drawing people away who may have otherwise attended. And I think that's partly on the organizers to find out that these things are going on before picking their dates. And I know, like, it's obviously out of people's control. If they book something ahead of time, then other things can crop up that they wouldn't have known of beforehand. But it is frustrating knowing that more people could have been there. I could have made more sales had this been on a different weekend. And I've done various types of markets. I've done small ones like this. I've done large ones that are 100 to 200 vendors. I've done little farmers markets, and it's such a hit and miss kind of situation. Like, you never know going in if you're going to do really well or if you're going to sell absolutely nothing. And at this point, I'm happy if I can just break even. If I can make back what I spent to be there, I'm at least not out anything except for my time, which is valuable in its own right. But at least monetarily, if I can make back what I spent, then I guess I can call that a win. But I want to know what other people's experiences are like. If you own a creative business, if you're a maker, a crafter, an artist, do you attend a lot of markets? Is it worthwhile for you? I have seen a lot of other people in the same situation as myself making very little at these kind of events, but I've also seen people just raking it in, selling out of everything, scrambling if it's a 2-day event, scrambling overnight to make enough product to sell on the second day. So I'd just like to hear your experiences. Do you have any tips? Any advice as to what types of markets work best? Does time of year make a difference? And it's not that my product doesn't sell at all. I actually sell quite a bit online. I have an Etsy shop, which I will link below if you want to check that out. It's just, it seems to be in-person sales just don't work well for my product. And maybe that's just on me as a seller. I'm a quieter, more reserved person. I'm not gonna flag people down and try to hawk my product. Because it isn't something that's going to appeal to everyone. I tend to just let my product speak for itself. So please share your experiences. I would love to hear in the comments how things go for you at markets. Let me know what you sell, how long you've been selling it for, what changes you've made since you started selling, and how your sales vary from in-person to online if you do have an online shop. Thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Hello, kitty cat. What you doing? Hey.